like to call the City of Baldwin special call meeting for June 23rd, 2023 to order. And this meeting is solely for the public hearing for the fiscal year 2024 budget. And we're gonna unpack it. We're gonna unpack it, guys. I've gotten a few emails, I've gotten a few phone calls in regards to our budget and people asking me questions, which, you know, of course, I'm always happy to answer and try to help people understand. As elected officials, it is our job to help our constituents understand a very complicated, multifaceted, multi-layered budget. And you know, government's boring, right? Government's boring. Most people don't pay attention to what's going on until it's something that is inflammatory or something that is controversial, rather, is what I should say. So unfortunately, we don't often hear from our constituents. We start the budget process in January knowing that the budget is due by July 1st. And so it is a painstaking process that our department heads and our chief administrative officer go over. They start with pie in the sky, and then they start slashing and cutting. And then they come down to a realistic, feasible budget. They present that to us in our in our retreat in the spring. And we discuss all of the different parts of the budget and how to reduce things, how to look for alternate ways of ways to bring in revenue and to offset property taxes, which is the ultimate goal. Because we're all citizens. When it comes down to it, the decisions that we make as council members is also affecting our own pocketbooks. The difference between citizens who are not, who have not and are not in public service, it is because it's a boring, grueling, complicated process, don't understand it. And when someone doesn't understand something, it creates fear. And it also creates anger. And we, the city, have said time and time again, please come and talk to us in our meetings. You can Google me and find my phone number. I'm a real estate agent. I'm all over the internet. Our email addresses are on the website. If you call City Hall, our lovely people there at City Hall are happy to pass your information along to us and to give you our information. They know that we have told them, please do. We're public servants. We are here to answer questions and help people understand exactly what's going on. So that said, I'd like to start our hearing. Emily, our public hearing needs to be for 20 minutes?
There's no time requirement for the budget hearing. The only timed hearings are for zoning decisions.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So there's no requirement, but you're welcome to leave it open.
Great. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have some conversation because this is the place to do it. This is an open meeting. The media is here. Our Facebook Live, this is the only other way that we know to share information. Unfortunately, we are, other than having an open meeting and trying our best with having it public on the only avenue that we have, the only other way that we have information to reach the public is through the media.
Well, we also had a town hall.
Right, yeah, and I'm getting to that. So we had a town hall as well. Thank you, Dr. Armani. We had a town hall, we advertised it, we invited people. Unfortunately, only 4 people showed up. Last year with our town hall, when we were increasing the millage rate, or proposing to increase the millage rate, we had 13 people show up. And yeah, they don't show up because they're happy and they're not bringing cake and ready to throw a party, right? We know that. We're talking about increasing our taxes, which is going to affect our pocketbooks. But when they left that town hall, they still said, hey, we're not happy about it, but we understand it because you guys have done a great job in explaining to us what it is that we're paying for, the services that our taxes are going to pay for, because we live in a city, in an incorporated city limit, whose purpose is to provide services over and above what the county provides. And when they left, they said, hey, thank you. And I don't ever recall a time in history that I've ever seen where citizens came to you and said, thank you for raising our millage rate. That happened. Nobody reported that. Sorry, I'm not bashing you guys. You know that. I'm just saying what actually happened. I am kind of kicking myself for not live streaming both of those town halls. That'll change from now on. One of the things that we pride ourselves on at the City of Baldwin is that every single one of our meetings are broadcast live on Facebook. And we don't delete them. The county deletes theirs on their website after, I don't know, 3 or 6 months or something like that. Ours is there in perpetuity as long as Facebook is still there, right? They're always going to be there because we want to be able to be accountable, but we also want to be able to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Citizen, I know you read something in the paper or online, but they can't. Media cannot tell you everything, or they'd be writing novels and nobody would be reading it. So they take the big stuff and put it in front of you, but there's more to it. And the discussions that we have are right here on Facebook. And you can go back for, I don't know, the last 3 years I think we've been broadcasting on Facebook. I think we were even before COVID. Maybe not, but anyway.
It was a result of COVID.
As a result of COVID, right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there. We try to have all these communications in the open and so that everybody can see that and determine for themselves and get all of the other things that go along with what they read or hear on the radio. So with that, I would like to go ahead and open our public hearing for the fiscal year 2024 budget. And I'm going to let it go for 30 minutes because I think 30 minutes is enough for us to unpack everything that we have in this budget. I'm going to ask questions. I don't know how many people are actually live on our, you know what? Hang on a second. Excuse me. I'm going to borrow this if that's okay. Whoops. Oops. I didn't mean to tear down we're going to tear down the city. I want you guys to see how many people we have in our meeting tonight. Look, there's my grandchild. There's 2 of our employees. We have the media over here. We have 2 people who intend to run for an elected position. There is nobody else in here. You know why? Because nobody wants to pay attention unless there's something that's pissing them off. So what that means is that we don't get, these folks don't get anybody up here telling them, we don't like this, and we have a different idea, or we have some suggestions, or can you explain this? They don't do it. But then when they're online, because they're too chicken to come into the meetings or whatever it is, they go online and they make comments. I will come on there and I will inform you in how you're wrong. And you may not like me for it, but my job is to help you understand what it is that we do and the decisions that we make. So we're going to sit here and we're going to have a conversation. I've got this close to me, so if you have questions, I see there's only about 4 people watching. If you have questions, I'm going to read them out loud and I'm going to answer those questions. But I'm going to start out, if I can figure out how to use this.
Would you like to stay here?
Yes, please. You mean the stand that I tore up? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to read something because I know a lot of people want to know what it is that their property taxes pay for them. We're gonna unpack that here in a minute, right? We got lots of data. We come with the receipts. We're really proud of all the accomplishments that we have made over the years, and we're here to explain it. So I'm going to start off by reading the 2023 State of the City address that our former mayor, Joe Elam, read back in January, because I think it's very important and not a lot of people got to hear it. It's a little long, so bear with me, but we got 30 minutes. I would like to begin by saying the state of our city is strong. In 2022, the city of Baldwin shifted away from a culture of making do. Instead, informed decisions for 21st century success were based on market research and qualitative data. We began to choose the shape of the city and the style of personnel policies that would work best for a growing and dynamic city, one that employs certified professionals in their fields and pays them accordingly. While we haven't achieved all of our dreams, 2022 saw the city move steadfastly and surely in the right direction. Surrounded by other municipalities in Hall, Habersham, and Banks counties growing with innovation and technology, Baldwin has come to understand the power of its geographic location, strong leadership, and clarity of vision for economic development. In 2022, the City Council and administrative staff recommitted their leadership efforts to the city personnel, its residents, and business owners through intentional planning and infrastructure renewal, community building events, and strong budget management. Our dedicated employees continue to be the outward face of the city, who daily represents Baldwin's values to its residents, visitors, and business owners. Baldwin employees work and train hard. All city departments employ certified professionals, and this adds value for those folks interacting with and wishing to move into the city of Baldwin. The council has committed to offering livable wages and good benefits to make Baldwin an attractive place to live and work. Consequently, I am sure that the City of Baldwin staff is without peer, and I can't thank them enough for their hard work and dedication. I would also like to thank our City Council for their continued leadership and advocacy for citizens and employees alike. In addition to regularly scheduled council meetings and work sessions, the members of the City Council dedicated their time and talents to additional committees, projects, and events. This year, the Events Committee, the Water Group, and the Lost Negotiation Team were particularly active on behalf of the city, residents, and business owners in both Habersham and Banks County. As always, the council and city staff work to provide excellent services to you. Feel free to join us at meetings and to reach out to me and department heads for information and with questions. And as always, we encourage you to join committees and run for office. Now, let's take a moment to celebrate some of our 2022 accomplishments. We celebrated our 126th birthday on December 17th. We added an administrative assistant position to serve the Chief Administrative Officer, swore in Chris Jones as the new Chief of Police, hired additional police officers and firefighters, updated security procedures for municipal court, completed a clean audit for fiscal year 2021, passed a balanced budget, maintained certified city status with DCA, continued membership in Partnership Habersham and the Habersham Historical Society, restored the 1950s flashing caution light in Willingham, paved Chandler Heights subdivision, constructed the Light Street water tank behind City Hall, completed the J. Warren Road water transmission line project, completed firefighter training facility and hosted Firefighter 2 course, hosted the annual Baldwin Elementary School art contest for the city's cleanup day, t-shirt coinciding with Earth Day in April, saw an overwhelming turnout to our annual fall festival with 34 vendors, half of whom were minority-owned businesses and one nonprofit agency, live music, food trucks, fun run, Jeep crawl, new games, movie in the park, fireworks display. This event was free to the public due to the generosity of event sponsors. We have fantastic community partners that have given a lot of money for the lower socioeconomic end of the county to enjoy things that they would not otherwise be able to do. We gifted 82 fruit baskets to our local nursing home residents with Christmas cards written by our city's young people. Provided 16 children with Christmas presents through Shop with a Hero. Held our annual holiday tree lighting where children took pictures with Santa. The evening again featured a holiday music concert performed by Baldwin Elementary School students. Hosted the annual Habersham County Christmas Parade and provided over 400 free meals, actually it was 500, free meals to all community attendees thanks to our generous sponsors again. We dedicated the Officer Edgar Flores Memorial Monument in the new downtown park to honor the memorial of a Baldwin resident killed in the line of duty. We formalized a new sewer agreement with Fielddale and a new wholesale water agreement with Demarest. And a lot of people don't understand Emily, and I'm just pulling numbers out of the back of my head, but I want to ask you, in that negotiated water agreement with Demarest, historically it was a very contentious and litigious event that took place. But I want to say that when we did that, we gained $30,000. Is that right, per month? What was it that the monetary difference in that monthly from the previous agreement to what we have now?
Well, it does vary, but it's between 15 and 30,000
a month, right? Between $15,000 and $30,000 a month. And Emily, thank you, was one of those that helped negotiate that, and we appreciate that. So this goes on and on, but we've added over $15.5 million to our city tax digest. We issued 109 building permits with 25 homes newly constructed, issued over 141 occupational licenses, that's huge, annexed over 5 acres and zoned for highway business, approved the construction of the first liquor store in the city, as a new gas station, and a daycare on 365. We completed 2 council retreats dedicated to vision casting, discussion of capital improvement, employer retention, and economic development. We received ARPA funds, 2 rounds, the second round of ARPA funds of $637,456, and committed funds to the new E911 radio system and a solid handling building. We approved and completed the Ivory Drive, Church Street, and Lenora Lane paving through Banks County T-SPLOST. Thank you to Banks County residents for voting for T-SPLOST, because those roads have been paved. Unfortunately, we cannot say the same for Habersham County. That's going to have to come out of the taxpayer's pocket. Let's see. We put down $10,000 as seed money for the purchase of a new fire truck. We have actually completed the purchase of a new fire truck. We also have 6 new patrol vehicles that not only is that not coming out of the taxpayer's pocket, but it's also earning, because it's on a lease program, it's earning equity. And the amount of equity that will be earned over is it 4 years or 5? 4 years equals one year of payments for all of those vehicles. Now that is fiscal responsibility, and you can't tell me it's not. We're no longer in a bunch of broke down vehicles and broke down fire trucks trying to save people's lives and fight crime. We authorized the use of system connection fees for a $195,000 SCADA system upgrade and a $75,000 upgrade of water treatment plant's original 1987 grates and screens, and committed $100,000 towards the new solids handling building. We've also brought in a business that's going to process those waste solids into compost that the citizens get for free. We renewed an agreement with the 9th District Opportunity for Water Bill Assistance. We purchased new fire department quick response vehicle, leased new police department vehicles, and upgraded body cameras and tasers, maintained water and sewer infrastructure. So, but you know what? Let's talk about some recognition here. We recognize Councilmember Dr. Stephanie Almano for earning the Certificate of Distinction, which is 120 hours of training through GMA and the Harold Holtz Institute with UGA, and her appointment by GMA to the Statewide Equity and Inclusion Advisory Council. We recognize Chief Administrative Officer and City Clerk Emily Woodmaster as a certified city clerk through UGA Carl Vinson Institute of Government. And now she has actually gotten her certified public manager, which was also, what was the training hours on that? 300 training hours, while she does 4 or 5 different people's jobs, and being paid less than what her main title as Chief Administrative Officer is, paid $65,000. She does all of those jobs and completed 300 hours of training. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate that. These changes, we also recognize, we became a certified, one of our employees became a certified water operator class 3. Have we had more obtained? We've added a second one. Thank you. We've recognized Staff Employees of the Year voted by their departmental peers. Public Works, Joey Thompson; Police Department, Danette Wilbanks; and Fire Department, Michael Craig. These changes to the city's actual footprint and completion of projects and purchases will serve us well as we intentionally develop the city's infrastructure to accommodate growth, both that we've chosen and that will choose us over the next 5 to 10 years, due in part to Hall County's economic development pushing north into Habersham County. Baldwin is working proactively, not reactively, to the shifts in Georgia business growth, away from the metro area and into what was the 19th and 20th century's agricultural belt. Land is being gobbled up, but the 2020 approval of Baldwin's minimum development standards, the 2022 awareness of the significance of the city's water and wastewater systems as linchpins for growth, and the 2023 focus on economic development will make Baldwin a strong economic player well into the 21st century. As always, we welcome your feedback. We welcome your participation in our decision making on your behalf. Please join us at meetings and reach out with comments and questions. My phone number is 706-968-6438. You can reach me at aventer@cityofbaldwin.org. The rest of the council, you can also reach off of our website and off of the MyTown app. We are always here to ask questions. You can also call City Hall and ask for us. Now I'm going to unpack this budget a little bit. I haven't really had a whole lot of people complaining about the budget, moreover, than I've had people complaining about the proposed Chief Administrative Officer contract. But all of that encompassed into what I just read to you, and that was just what we had accomplished up until January. We've done a lot more since then. So we're going to talk about the budget. One of the things that I would like for our citizens to understand is that your property taxes only pay for about 25% of the city's budget. The rest of it is all of us schmucks up here and that chief administrative officer looking for alternative ways to pay for this city to function and for you guys to have the wonderful services that you have. 25% of property taxes is what goes to pay for a 3.9-ish, what is our $3.6 million operating budget. That's a hell of an accomplishment. And the other thing is that we have a general fund, which is taxpayer funded, and we have an enterprise fund, which is which is funded by business that the city does to help offset your taxes. So we have some graphs here that you guys are not really going to be able to see there online, but we have them here for you guys, for media, and for the 2 people that are here. Thank you for participating, and we appreciate it. And we appreciate your willingness to run for an elected position, because as you can see, it sucks, doesn't it? It's soul sucking. We have to be up here and make really hard decisions and have people yell at us that don't know what they're talking about. So with that said, Ms. Woodmaster, would you like to come and talk to us about our budget, please? I don't know if y'all can see. I know y'all would rather look at this nice lady than my ugly mug, but here we go.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, where would you like to start?
From the beginning, I guess. So,
Ms. Woodmaster,
Oh.
can you talk about the planning process? I mean, we talked about it in retreat, and that, you know, this year the budget seems different. I've been on the council for 4 years now, so 4th time I'm going through this. This year, the budget, as I heard from department heads, this was the year where they came and said, this is what we actually need to run.
Yes, it
To
was
run the
built
departments.
on that mindset from last year. So if you recall back at the first town hall meeting that we hosted last year, we gave the public the budget. This is what it takes to run each department the way that it's supposed to be run, with sufficient resources, adequate staffing, and they have all of the equipment necessary to complete their job. If you go back to that, there was a $600,000 deficit on that budget, right?
right.
And so after the town hall meeting, department heads all came back together and decided what they could do without again. But it was still more than the year prior. So we added positions, or we added equipment or vehicles, so that was all included in last year's budget. You can ask any department head, probably laboring a little too much, but the goal has always been, it's okay if this is what your budget was last year. Tell me what you need today. And why do you need it today? I was talking with one of our council members a couple days ago, and something as small or insignificant that it might seem as the printer right behind you, how much does it cost? Who are we paying to do it? Can we pay somebody cheaper? Just because it was done that way last year doesn't mean it has to also be done the same way this year and then add on top of that. So there's a couple different ways that governments plan their budgets, and I can't speak for previous administration or the methods that they used. However, when I took over, the method that we chose to use is a zero-based budget, and that is everyone has $0. Tell me what you need, why you need it, and then we'll see if we can find the money for it. So once it gets presented to council, you have before you, even tonight, what they feel like they need to run their department the way that it should be run, with adequate equipment and personnel. And we know that that has been a challenge, especially in public safety. 2 years ago, we rebuilt our police department from the ground up and had a 4-year plan to reestablish 24/7 coverage as well as adequate staffing. Same thing with the fire department. There was a plan over the next 3 years, 4 years, to add proper staffing to ensure that when our men are on scene, that they are adequately covered, and they can enter into a burning building and they don't just have to wait for backup to arrive. But many scenarios like that. It has been over the last 2.5 years a planning process, hard discussions about what works, what doesn't work, what can we do differently, a little discomfort in change. We have a few department heads who are, I want to save every penny I can, and it's fine if we can do without. I think at one of our, I think it might have been at our last town hall meeting, you heard from our public works director, and he was like, it's okay, I've already cut the mowers. And I said, no, we need them. We need them. He's like, we can do without again. And I was like, no, but we need them. We had another mower, and just after that, we had both of them go out.
They went, but yeah.
And so we got one back running, and we got to fix another one. And so you'll hear them, all of them are very intentional in trying to determine what works, what doesn't work, and where they need to go from here. And in our planning retreats, you hear them talk about, well, we'd love to have this, or, in the next 5 years, we're going to have to buy this piece of equipment. And so building onto that bottom, that foundational base of this is what it's going to take to run a department, and this is how we get there. This will be this fiscal year, adding that one firefighter position gets us to 4 men per shift, which is an incredible feat.
So
Is that a best practice?
Yes, that is the most best practice, especially for
yeah.
a city our size.
So interestingly enough, like we talked about in our previous meeting, or maybe the meeting before, is when Chief Roy came to us to report our ISO rating, we are at a 3, which is already in of itself pretty darn good, but we were 4 points away from being a 2. And I had some discussions with people online, which resulted in some discussions with some members of the media. Is that it's like, well, hey, what does that actually look like as far as a monetary benefit to citizens? And actually, it turned out to be between 10 and 25%. But let me tell you what was interesting was digging into that, and that 20. So the higher end of the savings typically has to do with commercial and business savings on their insurance is the 25%. But what that does in turn is it makes Baldwin more attractive for economic development. So if we're cheaper and easier to do business in the city of Baldwin, and our fire department and our police department are answering their calls and getting there. So, but when I was doing my research on that and speaking with a couple of insurance agents, the consensus was that it's not about saving a couple of bucks out of your pocket. It's about the ability for your fire department to be able to respond and save your life when you drop on the floor from a heart attack. That is where the benefit is from. Yeah, we can make a few bucks. People are about worried, they're on fixed incomes and all of that. Let me tell you something. America is the land of milk and honey, but you got to come with your own bees and cows. You can't just be saying, I'm on a fixed. Yeah, you know what? A lot of everybody who earns a salary is on a fixed income.
I think one of the things that we did well last year through the budget process was help people understand why we needed the police, fire, public safety folks that we have, because we have citizens come to us and challenge us and say, Baldwin is 5 miles square, why do you need this level of fighter, this level of police force? And when we help the citizens understand that we have 2 major highways, 365, 441, there's an airport that takes necessary skill to fight, problems at the airport. There's Fieldale and the silos, but there are also nursing homes. This Baldwin is a different entity than many of the municipalities in Habersham. I mean, do other municipalities have the nursing homes that we have? Chief Jones is shaking his
No,
head.
we've got 2 or
So
We got 2.
we
2.
have 2 nursing homes, and one of the things, as you sit with the fire chief, you sit with the police chief, you sit with our CAO, their phones go off all the time, and they'll say, "Oh, somebody at the nursing home fell." Okay.
Or an
well,
overdose at the nursing home.
Look,
Yeah.
I've had to call 2 times for my mom since she came to live with me. Mom
yeah.
fell, had to pick her up off the floor, and it's that rate of response. So I think we have educated the citizens in what makes Baldwin unique,
Yeah.
and why we needed that level of service, the public service. So I think, contrary to what you were saying earlier, I don't think our job is boring. I really like these conversations.
Yeah.
and helping citizens understand
Yeah.
what makes us unique. The fact that we have 365, which is turning into a major, as you said, drugs, sex trafficking,
Yeah.
a thoroughfare through North Georgia, the old 441, the airport, on and on. So we have real needs
Right.
here. And I think as we continue to educate the public,
Yeah.
about what makes Baldwin unique, they'll come to understand why the budget has to be what it is. And I think you've done a really good job with the department heads articulating to us at retreat why they need what they need. It's not just, hey, I need 2 new mowers. But
Yeah.
do our public works folks cut county grass?
Yes.
Yes, they do
Yeah,
cut
see,
county grass.
They don't cut just Baldwin grass, right?
Yeah.
So they cut
Right.
county grass too.
Yeah.
Because we
State
pitch it.
grass.
And state grass.
And
So
state
because
grass.
We pitch it and we help each other out, right?
Right.
It's not just our little 5 miles. It's,
Yeah.
there's more to it.
Because we want to be good partners, and because we want the place to look nice. That also helps. So,
And that brings us to code enforcement.
yep. Code enforcement's being added this year, and it is desperately needing. I had a resident reach out to me because they had sewage flowing through their air vents in their, it was horrible. Like, first of all, how does sewage even get into your air vents? Well, that's because it was a manufactured home where the ductwork is sandwiched in the flooring, and the floor in the bathroom rotted out and allowed raw sewage to flow through their vents. The landlord did not want to have that remediated. Oh, it was flowing into the ground. It was awful as a backup. And the landlord did not want to repair that. So those folks moved out. But, we can't do anything if we don't have code enforcement. So that hopefully with the budget that hopefully passes, that we'll have that. That's so important.
And part of that is economic development, like you said. So as we mow the grasses, we have code enforcement that enforces the quality of life, ordinances that we have. People will want to come here.
The goal, one of the many goals that I put on department heads is when it comes to the budget or presenting the budget, there should be no new or unknown expense that you all don't know about. We've talked about it, we've planned for
Right.
it. May or may not have begged a little for it, but there's no new expense or something that you're just hearing about just before the start of a budget cycle.
Right.
These are things that show up on monthly reports as goals or something that's needed in the next year or 2 years or 5 years or whatever that looks like.
And been beat to death.
Even something as small as changing how our department heads report to the council, the status of their monthly operations. to put those goals on the top as a constant reminder to all of you, but as well as for them in their departments, that these are things that we're focused on. We want to add staff. We want to add 2 mowers.
Yeah.
As Scott
Yeah.
would object to.
Yeah,
So-
but-
And a
but
lot
I
of
hope the
people-
citizens- But I hope the citizens understand, as we have talked about for
Yes.
the last 2 years, how much work is done in retreat. I mean,
Right.
we keep saying this. I know retreat looks like a big expense. It's like, oh, wow, they go out and they,
Well, it's hardly fun.
Well, but
Mhm.
having that consistent time together
Mhm.
where we can hear from the department heads and negotiate some of this and say, not yet, how about, have you considered,
Mhm.
I teach where the commas go, and so Chief says to me, no, here, you don't understand, so make me understand.
Right.
And that's what happens in retreat, that we can have these long conversations. So when we get here, it might look a fait accompli, we all vote yes for something, but we have kicked it around so much.
Mm.
So I appreciate the fact that these conversations are recurring,
Yeah, because, trying to have those conversations in a 1 hour, meeting 3 times a month is absolutely inadequate to get things done properly, to make sure that things are thought of and thought through and done effectively. It just doesn't. So that retreat is also an open meeting. Anyone's welcome to come. And it's 3 days of really hard work.
2 days.
I'm sorry.
We
I don't know.
Make it 3 days.
I know.
Love it.
See, that just goes to show you how it sticks to mom. It's 3 days.
Aaron also said
3 days. I'm sorry. It's
Okay,
2
I'm the
days.
nerd, I like the 3 days.
I know.
I like that, we could get a lot.
We could, and that's and so that's all, and that also a lot the public doesn't know is that we spend more time than just the $100 a meeting 3 times a month, work session, and 2 meetings in a month. It's much more. We are going to other, development authority meetings, economic development meetings. We have our committees that we set up, 365 in the water group, and all of those are all hours and hours and hours of time, phone calls that we spend dedicated to the city that we don't get compensated for. That's public service. You're either in it or you're not. You're either here to sit on your behind or you're here to get your behind to work and roll up your sleeves. And so, and if you're just sitting on your behind, nothing's going to get done. You're going to kick things down the road and decisions aren't going to be made. And I will say that and it happens everywhere. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about everyone. It is difficult for elected officials to make decisions where they think everybody's going to be mad at them or they're going to get ripped a new one by people that are their friends or people that they're neighbors. We have to be able to be prepared with the knowledge to explain and help inform our constituents as to what's going on with the budget, why we're making the decisions, and invite them to come with suggestions. But if you don't come with suggestions, you don't get to use us as a punching bag. It doesn't happen that way. Get your behind down here. We'll be happy to spend whatever time, unpaid time, to sit here and explain it to you. So that said, first to council, is there anything that you guys would like, any questions that you would like to ask, things that you don't understand that we can talk about right now? Because I know we've taken all of our time yelling and screaming now, so.
It's mighty risky. I'm just going to keep quiet.
I mean, the elephant in the room is the salary for the CAO.
Yeah.
And we've all received numerous emails this week
Mm-hmm.
because of some articles that were written by the media. And it's great. I think that we need to take the moment to talk about this. It's built into the budget. The reality is we approved a wage study to
Yes.
look at this.
Can I, so people can hear you? I would love for them to hear this, yes.
Well, I mean, we approved a wage study to look at a number of salaries, city hall salaries, and in the
All of the general fund.
all of the general
All of the
fund.
general fund, yeah.
All of the general fund salaries. Okay. in the 3 years that I have been here, there has not been a wage study like this. Has one ever been conducted like this
For the general fund?
for the general fund?
Not that I'm aware of.
Right, okay. So it was time. It was time, and what we found out was this particular position, the salary for this particular position, no matter who holds this job, is out of alignment with contemporary remuneration.
Right.
We did the wage study, we looked at sister cities, we looked at population, we looked at the salaries for the folks in the similar position in comparable cities, and we feel like we're making a fair and reasonable adjustment to that particular position. And it's time. We've looked at fire, we've looked at police, we've looked at other water, wastewater, and it's time now to look at the CAO position. And we've heard loudly from citizens who said a 60% increase is not what we should be doing right now. For me, it's always the right time to do the right thing. And I've said all along that if I see a problem in the city, I have to fix the problem. And for me, the remuneration is a problem. We have talked from the dais about recruiting and retaining good employees for the 3 years that I've been here. And if Ms. Woodmaster leaves this position, we're gonna have to hire somebody to fill the shoes. And there is no one who will take this position.
Not at $65,000. No, absolutely. We won't get one application.
No, and it is more expensive to recruit employees than it is to retain good employees.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the time for me to retain good employees. So we've done the wage study, we looked at other leadership positions in the county and around the area. We found that this was woefully lacking. We're making the adjustment this year. I understand that it looks like a lot of money. It is a lot of money.
Mm?
It is a lot of money. But the responsibility for this position is great.
Can I pause you right there just to so I actually have the wage study here in front of me. This was done by the company that we hired to do that. We unfortunately the wage study for the entire general fund will not be available until after our budget cycle has completed. But we did ask for the 4 positions the main positions that our chief administrative officer also fills at the moment. And in that wage study, because a lot of people were saying, well, you know, we're not the same as so-and-so and so-and-so. When they do a wage study, they're not just calling like the next city over, like I did, and saying, hey, what are you guys making over there? What are you doing? And it doesn't work so very specifically, the sample of targeted local governments utilized to obtain comparable data consisted of the following: population between 2,100 and 4,800. I think Baldwin's got what, 3,600. We've got 3,600 citizens. The cities that also have between 30 and 85 employees. I think we've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 50. Budget and financial responsibility between $5 million and $20 million. And then services provided. This is very important because when we're looking at the CAO's responsibility, which is managing all of the department heads and the departments and services that we provide. So they went on the services that we do provide: water, wastewater, public works, police, fire, court. We also have a road department and so on, but those are the ones that they use. Those are just some of those identified and surveyed local government entities include the city of Cornelia, the city of Dawson, the city of Dawsonville, Elberton, Donaldson, Statham, Watkinsville, Jasper, Royston, and Clarksville. So all of that is all put into perspective, put into a formula that comes up with the median, with the pay scales. So just for general admin, just for the chief administrative officer, and this is just salary. This doesn't include, benefits and all of the extra expenses that any employer would pay. Minimum is $85,000 for just the chief administrative officer. Emily makes $65,000 and has refused a pay increase over the last 3 years, saying, I'm okay. So it's not about the need of money. She says, I'm okay. I want to make sure that our other employees are taken care of first. Let's correct that before we talk about me. The midpoint is $106,250 and the maximum is $130,000. The current proposal of the chief administrative officer position is $104,000. General admins, so finance and human resources kind of combined into two positions. The salary minimum for that, with our kind of city, with our kind of services, is $68,000. The midpoint, $85,000. Maximum is $102,000. For a city clerk, the minimum is $45,000. Midpoint is $56,250, and the maximum is $68,000. But all those four positions that Emily fills right now that equates to about $247,000. So thank you for helping us save money. We appreciate that. And so when they talk about a 60% increase at one time, it's because it was delayed so that other people could be paid properly first. And we did that. Also, can I just say that if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys? If you have crappy pay, you're going to have a crappy city, and it's going to be a crappy place to live, and nobody's going to want to move here. And then your property values go down, which means that the city gets even less money to pay for more crappy services. So do we want to pay for someone who is going to do a good job and run the city well? Also, I don't think a lot of people understand the growth that is coming to us from Hall County. We're going to be drinking from a fire hydrant. There ain't gonna be no hose. We're gonna be drinking the fire hydrant. And so we have to have someone that's going to be proficient in planning that and being strategic for the future. Otherwise, we're screwed. Look at all these other cities that has been crammed down their neck, and they were reactive instead of proactive. And that right there is where it really costs much more than dollars to a city. So I'm going to leave it there. But we do, anybody who, I still don't, Stuart Dyer. At the beginning of this, I asked for people to ask questions on Facebook Lives because we have no participation, you see. There's nobody here asking any questions, so we're trying to make ourselves available in any way we can. But Stuart Dyer said, you guys are clueless. Mr. Dyer, we'd like for you to come and tell us how we're clueless. So anyway, I don't have any other questions. Does anybody in the audience have any questions about our budget or the chief administrative officer's contract? Do you guys have any? Please tell me you have questions.
I'll make a comment. I
Sure.
support it 100%.
Thank you.
I do. I think that, I think she does a fantastic job. It's in line with other municipalities. I think that's been disciplined with how we've gone about looking at it. I would not myself compare it to with other jobs, because if you talk about other full-time jobs, you're talking about 40-hour-a-week jobs. Obviously, she's been able to work it in within what she does, so she certainly handles all those roles. But I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing for our city, and we should celebrate it. And thank you for, I would say thank you to Emily for being patient.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. That means a lot. So I think I'm now exhausted. I'm pretty sure that our Facebook audience has started being yelled at. I'm very impassioned when it comes to having worked for nearly 6 years and having fixed a lot of problems and seeing the growth. I am very emotionally attached to that. And I just want to scream from the rooftops to our people, wake up and look what you have. Baldwin is a fantastic city. We have got the most amazing people that live here and work here. And as much as media has the ability, you guys share all of the wonderful things and the community outreach and the things that we do for our community and for each other. If somebody, man, listen, the one lady that didn't have power and she had no food in her house, as soon as the 911 dispatcher heard that and our officers heard it, 911 dispatcher paid her power bill for it, was a few $100s, went and got her food, and I guess we check on her from time to time. We see people broke down on the side of the road. You know you're not going to be there for long. Baldwin's a wonderful, wonderful place. Our little sweet little precious elementary school. This is a wonderful place, and we have to keep it wonderful, and this is what it takes. And so, very impassioned about it. And I appreciate all of you listening patiently.
I want to make an amendment to that budget. I need more salary because I got to go home and get yelled at more. I got
He has to hear it
this.
all the time. So, guys, I want you guys to take a look at the people that serve you. And I want you to know that they all work their behinds off and that they're good people. This is a good city. These are good people that represent you. These are good people that do the city's work. Those people back there too, except for the little one, the little rugrat. This is our fantastic police chief. This is Emily Light over here. That's Erin. She puts up with all our trash too. So anyway, there's our media members. I'm charging you guys with reporting nicely on this, okay? I know it's a 60% increase. I would do it too.
Spreading the gospel.
Spreading the gospel, yes. So, you know what? I would write that. Look, listen, I'm going to give credit where credit is due to the media, okay? Nobody is going to read the media and read the articles if there's no juicy stuff in it. Click, 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 read me. Otherwise, how do you get paid? Look, so I get it. But we got a lot of really awesome stuff going on here.
Mayor,
Yes.
can Chief remind our residents when we went back to 24/7?
Oh, yeah. When did we go back to 24/7 coverage?
So we went back to 24/7, that's what our citizens deserve.
Yes.
That's what they pay for.
Right.
How long did it take the fire department to get to your house when your mom's called?
Oh, like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
You pull our reports.
Yes.
I look at every report. Every call our officers get dispatched to, I get an email. And y'all heard it dings my phone every time. I look at those times. I look at every call. A lot of police chiefs, they may not be here during the day. You can ask him, I'm here. And you better believe I look at every call. Because if our officers are failing the community, I'm going to be looking at that. Because I fail at that point. We owe them better than that.
So when did we go back 24/7?
To give them.
No, when did we do it?
We
What
went
month?
back, we got full service, it was in December.
Wow.
Yes.
At the end of December. So to do that, it was not painless.
No. Right.
We sent 2 officers to the academy, and as far as my research can determine, I cannot find the City of Baldwin Police Department ever sending an officer to the academy. We done 2.
Yes. I love it.
That's great.
Homegrown. It is incredible. It's homegrown.
And
That's great.
one was a female that was a GCIC operator.
Mm-hmm.
She came to Chief Brandon and said, I want to be a police officer.
That's
We
brave.
sent her. So that's great right there.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
All right. All right, guys. We've been here almost an hour. We thought this was going to be a quick one, huh? Does anybody else have any other questions? No? Any comments? No? Budget is at City Hall. It is on our website. Again, you can call me. You can set up we are set to vote on our budget Monday night, same place, same faces, on Monday 6:30. Oh, we are meeting here, right? Am I right? Monday 6:30?
Yes.
Yes.
We do have to have another meeting a week from today.
I apologize. We have one more hearing.
No hearing, you're
Just
it
the
was
first.
recommended that we wait a week
The
from
week.
the public hearing until the adoption.
That was on recommendation from our legal counsel. Okay, great. Okay, so say it one more time.
another opportunity for public or for
Yeah.
our citizens to have an opinion or come speak their mind. Monday night at our regularly scheduled meeting at 6:30 right here, and then the council will determine when we meet on Friday to vote to adopt the budget. This a week from today, Friday.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so there you have it, straight from the source. Members of the media, can you guys please do whatever you can? I know the newspaper, you guys are limited, you print on Wednesday and Friday, but if you guys could please put the word out, come to our meeting, ask questions, don't be afraid. I yell a little bit, but I'm not gonna bite, I promise. You can quote that, okay? Like on the record. I know you're gonna,
That's a lie.
you own it, yeah.
So next Friday at
6:30, yeah,
here.
yes,
Oh.
yes.
I guess you're deciding.
What's that?
You guys, you.
Oh, no, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Welcome to my
No,
life.
I'm sorry, Monday was what I heard you say, not Friday. So Monday is our next meeting, and then we'll decide then when then, yeah, so. But definitely Monday at 6:30, please come and ask questions. You can yell at me and say, Stuart Dyer, you can come yell at us and ask and tell us we're clueless. That's fine too. You're all invited. So, all right, is that it?
Announcements.
Announcement. Oh yeah, I guess we should go look at the agenda, right? My bad. Okay, so announcements. The Piedmont. Huh?
Close the hearing.
Oh, I will. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the hearing. It's been open for about 45 minutes now. So let's see. So on to announcements. See, she keeps us in line. She keeps us. We
fair.
lost. That was,
fair.
thank you, Aaron. So yeah, Emily Light, CAO Light, right? Thank you. The Piedmont Library System pop-up rolling library will be set up at the Farmers Market in Baldwin from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Friday through the end of July. We encourage all of our residents to come and check out or return books. This is available to anyone with a Pines Library card. Cards can be issued on site for those who do not currently have one. Additionally, those attending the pop-up rolling library with children will also receive food bags courtesy of the Food Bank of Northeast Georgia. I love that. Also, the Baldwin City Picnic is next Saturday, July 1st, starting at 5 p.m. We invite our residents to join us at the Farmers Market for a free cookout to show our appreciation. Bring your picnic blankets and lawn chairs and make sure you stay for the fireworks finale. So we are actually going to have a 25-minute fireworks display July 1st. Joy asked me to send her information. She said she'll do a plug. I completely forgot to send it to her. Tell her I'm sorry. But that is going to be really exciting. We want people to have as many opportunities to see fireworks over the holiday, but our friends over at the City of Demarest have their wonderful Glorious Fourth celebration, and so we don't want to step on toes there, so we're doing ours on the 1st. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's free food, done by our sponsors that care about the city and her people. So anyway, with that, and without any more comments, anything, all the opportunities, no, nobody. All right, I would like a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
I have a
Thank you. I'll second it 5 times.
okay, second it 5 times. You guys are ridiculous. Thank you. A motion from Councilman Ayers and a second from Councilman Venter. All in favor say aye. Aye. There, I did it again. We're gonna go. Bye. Let's just stop this. Help me stop this.